you I had a trick up my sleeve for you today.
Wow. Is that Chris Haynes? Talk to me. Be right here.
Direct from the set of Haynes Briefs. You can see the Dame Lillard jersey in the background. Chris Haynes joins the show.
Yes, sir. Welcome to the Thanalysis show, man.
It's always something going. Listen, there's always something going on in the NBA, man. Y'all see this?
I already know. What happened?
This Terry Rozier stuff going on there.
I have not.
No, we've been on the show. What happened?
So,
I looked at my phone like we don't have Chris to break it down for us right here.
Yeah. So,
unbelievable. Go.
Terry Rozier is being investigated by federal prosecutors due to potentially being involved in a betting scheme when he was with the Hornets in 2023. So the ring of people that were responsible for the bet, the bets that they were found guilty and went to jail, the crew the ring that bet against Jonte Porter. They're the same crew, so they betted favorably against Terry Rozier for a game in 2023. And let me read you the statement real quick that the NBA gave me as it pertains to this matter. So NBA spokesman Mike Bass, quote, says, in March 2023, the NBA was alerted to an unusual betting activity related to Terry Rozier's performance in a game between Charlotte and New Orleans. The league conducted an investigation and did not find a violation of NBA rules. We are now aware of an investigation by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of New York related to this matter and have been cooperating with that investigation. End of quote. So, doesn't look good.
So basically, that statement actually said, what that got to do with Terry, bro? That's what the statement said, basically.
Well, listen, that statement says that, but I think more importantly, what the NBA is basically stating that they did their own investigation and they didn't find anything, but now there's a bigger federal prosecution investigation going on. And again, we have to remember that same crew that was found guilty of betting against Jonte Porter, they had a relationship established to where they were pocketing money, betting favorably, and Porter was found guilty of playing into that. This is the same crew that betted favorably against Terry Rozier, in which there's implication that potentially he might have been involved.
Is this the 2022-23 season or 23-24?
This would be the 22-23 season. So it happened in 2023 in March.
So I just looked up the March game between the Hornets, and I'm just looking at raw numbers here, TA. But that day, Rozier, only 10 minutes as a starter, was one of 3 from 3, 2 of 4 from the floor for 5 points and 4 rebounds.
That doesn't say.
No, it doesn't say anything.
It's just, Tony. Obviously,
I'm just looking at the box score, man.
Yeah. The other thing I want to say, this just came out now.
Yes.
It must have. Okay. We've been recording for 24 minutes before you joined this call. Literally just dropped.
Okay. I expected something. With Chris, you always expect something juicy, something like give us something we can handle. But Chris keeps, keeps us with.
TA, I had nothing to do with this, man. I can't. This is something you don't. This is something you don't anticipate happening. I mean, obviously, this was all the concern 100%. About legalizing betting in the sport industry. Like, this was the concern right here, and we're seeing that. And hopefully, Terry is found to be.
Obviously, that's one of the NBA. Yeah. One of the NBA guys, obviously, hopefully he's not involved, and everything pans out the way NBA said in the beginning, and we keep it moving. But my question is different now, right? Obviously, there has to be a thin line because there's a lot of lines that are crossed, and you know what I mean. Like there's it's like saying, all right, we're gonna let everybody wear blue, and now people are just you don't know what's happening. People are showing up with blue cards, but and everybody says like, yeah, but we were just talking about blue shirts. You know what I mean? It's just a thing that is becoming uncontrollable because now you have like betting companies sponsoring, like you know what I'm saying, betting companies sponsoring the NBA. But so I don't know, it's a thin line. You know, I don't know what the line is because I'm not the guy who created this. So I do think there is a miscommunication into the ruling is obviously not towards the players. We're strict. We know exactly what it is. If you ever want to play again, do not touch, do not tip, do not bet. This has been forever though. Not just here. I mean, me coming from Europe, it's always been forever. You don't do that. You know what I'm saying? You just don't get involved in that. So, but okay. So let's switch up. Let's switch up the topic. Let's go straight to trade. Let's go to trades. Give us something we can handle, Chris. Come on. I don't want to say. Give us something. Hold on. Give us something. Hold on.
Pause, pause, man. Pause, brother.
Don't say that. Baby that. It's not a live show. We're gonna edit it. Give us something that we can say. Give us something that we can say. That we can say. You know what? We knew something like that was gonna happen. Give us something that it's a little bit, not too much, because I know you got your sources. You know what I'm saying? Don't.
All right, a little bit. I mean, I think what's all apparent, what people expect out of all the names that we're hearing that's on the trade market that could be moved. Look, you got De'Aaron Fox out there. We've been hearing Vucevic for a while, Zach LaVine, but obviously number one on the list of guys that we know that are going to be moved is pretty much Jimmy Butler. So it would be like a total shock if he is still with the Miami Heat past the February 6th deadline. So all signs are pointing to him going elsewhere, and Miami Heat are trying vigorously to try to make that happen.
So now this my question would be, like, in the beginning, you felt like there wasn't. I don't know if you remember, we had a conversation, me and you, Tony, and it felt like, hey, I think Jimmy came out and said, like, I don't want to, I'm not going anywhere. And then at the same time, the Heat came out, was like, hey, we have a team, we're locked in, we're not doing anything, right? Or it was just me? Is this accurate, or
that was accurate? A lot has happened since then, but yes, you're accurate.
Okay. Do you think? I mean, I want to say this as a player, coming from the player side. First of all, want to say, like, it's always like it's a little bit discombobulating sometimes, for players who, locker rooms and just players like. That's why it's so hard for me to speak on the situation, even with Jimmy, because I'm from the outside and we're not like really teammates. And if we were teammates, I probably wouldn't say nothing, wouldn't say a word, because the most important thing for him is to figure out what's happening. But I would say, like, in everything else I've done, business wise, anything like that, if somebody's disgruntled or if somebody's is not pleased with what they're doing, it's both sides. It's not just one, right? It's never just one. Like, if somebody doesn't like working, it's both sides, always both sides. So I understand it's the nature of the business. I just don't. I think, like, it's just. I feel like it's being prolonged. I feel like it's being flared up and flared. Like, every 3 days, 4 days, you see something, which is unfair to Jimmy. It's not fair to the Heat. I mean, with what they've built, what I'm saying? I feel like every 3 days is all about, oh, this happened, and this happened, and this happened, instead of just like, hey, everybody knows what the situation is. Let it find its way. I don't know, Chris. What do you think? I don't know, Chris, Tony. What do you guys think?
I'll jump in here on this one real quick, Chris. I think it's one of those things where, like, it's so. Some relationships can be great. Like, Jimmy's tenure in Miami was incredible. They get to the finals. He has amazing performances. And then I think, just like with everything, relationships can just sour. And when you have a ton of money involved and you have a ton of, like, you're looking at long-term prospects and you're looking at where the team's going to be in 2 to 3 years and your mortality as a 35-year-old basketball player, I think that kind of kicks in and you're just like, hey, I might need a change if I'm going to make another realistic run at this thing. And Jimmy is a piece that can help. I think he can help the Miami Heat get there, but I think he's a piece that can help other teams really get there. And he's probably just like, hey, if we're not going to make a move to go all in this year, like, then I got a couple years left of this. I got to do something else.
So let me add to this. Okay, let me add to this. So this is Jimmy Butler who we're talking about, right? So a lot, because you had your breakdown, TA, and a lot has happened since then. Most teams, other teams, you remember, this is Pat Riley. Pat Riley runs a tight ship over there. Everybody understands, what they understand, like there's rules and obligation. There's a structure over there, a very strict structure. And that's why they've been so successful for such a long time. With that being said, this is Jimmy Butler. So when Jimmy Butler made it known that his joy was not there in Miami anymore and requested a trade, other players, maybe you can get away with having them still be a part of the team while you're looking to move them. Jimmy is a different character. Like the situation has got, like I talked about it before a few weeks ago, just about the litany of things that happened behind the scenes between Jimmy and the Heat. But it reached to a point where it became risky to keep Jimmy around. And so Pat let it be known, the ownership let it be known that they were not comfortable just allowing Jimmy to stay home and collect paychecks and not play. Other teams, most teams would say, listen, just go away because we don't want you to be a distraction. Go away because we don't want to have our players or have our coach have to, answer about you every single game. But Pat, they brought him back. They wanted to bring him back. They were adamant about keeping him around. And you see what happened. Like, it was incident after incident. And so then they finally made the decision, like, we're going to keep you away for the remaining 2 weeks until we figure out what to do with you. And so I think that should have been – and again, that's not to say Jimmy is handling this all the right way. I'm not saying, like, Jimmy handled it the right way. I'm just saying we all know Jimmy. He has a pattern. We know how he conducts himself when he's disgruntled. And so I think it probably would have been best weeks ago to have kept Jimmy away from the team.
It feels like Chris, and this is the last thing I'll say, and let's end it there. It feels like I said before, it's prolonged. Doesn't feel like nipped in the bud. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's keep it moving. And the other thing is, like, you said something about his pattern. Like, to me, I see I read what people say. I see what people. I don't know Jimmy. I don't know Jimmy. I've met him. I've seen him, but it feels like he feels like a dude that feels like, if you do right by me, you know what I'm saying? If you do right by me, we cool. You know what I'm saying? It's that type of energy. So
for sure.
I don't know what it is. I don't know.
If you don't do right by me, it's the exact opposite.
I agree. I just wanted to say that because I don't want, in any case, some guys tend to go out there and trying to look up professional or anything like that. It's more of like, you know what I'm saying? He is who he is. He is He's this guy who wants to win games, can win games for you, can play, can contribute all these things. And at the same time, everybody else is different. It's like, you can see it with teams, you can see it with players. So I don't want to sit out here and just like dissect him and say, or dissect the Heat when the Heat has been so successful in what they do, or you know what I'm saying. So it's one of those things that it should have been nipped in the bud. Like I feel this way, as a little bit up. All right, guys, it is what it is. What do you need? We need this. Figure it out. Day one, we're done. Keep it moving. But what else? Give us something small. Give us something. What else we haven't traded? What is moving?
Before we get one more thing from Chris, I know we got you just for a couple minutes here. I got to read you something. And TA, I'm going to pretend you're not here. So take your headphones off. This is just me and Chris talking right here, right?
Okay. What is it?
There's a report from the New York Post. I just want to read you this line.
I got to hear this. Go.
All right. I just want to read you this line and get your reaction. It's about the Brooklyn Nets. It says, De'Aaron Fox immediately supplants Jimmy Butler atop the list of available game changers, and Brooklyn sees the Kings guard as a trade target. Those sources tell the Post that Giannis Antetokounmpo is still the ultimate prize.
No, I'm taking my headphones off.
That's
yeah, I got it. Go for
I,
it.
I don't know if you have.
I thought it was gonna be something. When I heard last name, I was like, yeah, I got it.
That's why I tried to mute you out of this one. I just wanted to get Chris's opinion.
What's the name? My name is Bennett, and I ain't in it. Oh no, I got a better one. My name is Jerome, and I got to go home. That's the one. That's my one.
Oh man! Hey, but the question is, where is home? That's what people want to know. Where is home long term for you and your brother? That's the question, TA. Hey, but let's get off of that. Let's get off of that.
No, it's always. Well, hold on. First of all, it's all home, bro. It's Milwaukee, bro. We've always been in Milwaukee for the past decade plus, man. It's always been plus. If that's what you're asking, now with trade, bro, this trades is every other day, bro. Every other day this happens. Now, hey, remember, it's a business, huh? It's a business, and you do what you're supposed to do, and they do what they're supposed to do. Always.
That was expert level. Expert level getting off the question there, Chris. I mean, well done.
So I would say, obviously De'Aaron Fox, that's definitely a big target that came out of nowhere over the last couple of days. De'Aaron has made it clear that he will not sign an extension with the Kings. He has one more year under contract. And so the Kings right now are doing due diligence and trying to see what they can get in return so they don't lose him for nothing, since he has basically said he is not committed long term. So that's that. Again, remember, the Kings can still revisit this in the summer. They're not in a situation where they have to move him now. Mm-hmm. He has another year, so he can be a free agent in 2026. So TA, you ask all these questions about. Hold on, I'm putting you on the spot again. I'm putting you on the spot again. You ask all these questions about wanting to hear some trade stuff. Okay, I got some Milwaukee stuff. TA, should I go there, or should I talk to other teams?
No. Don't do not bring the Bucks. The Bucks, don't bring the Bucks into this mix.
That's what I thought, TA. So let me move on. Let me move on.
Hold on.
Yeah, listen. Hold on. I'll tell you one thing. My audience and the people who watch this show understand just fine that we can do without this. We can do without this. Please. Do not explode.
Yeah, okay, move on.
So next question I have for you is that during the trade deadline, right? How many calls do you get a day in that week, trade week?
Great question. It's hard to answer that, TA, but I'm on my phone probably trade deadline and free agency period and draft, 6 a.m. Well, I'm on the West Coast, so really probably about 5 a.m. till midnight, close to midnight. Just constantly on and off the phone, making calls, fielding calls, following leads, confirming things. And a lot of stories, like there may be stories that I break. Say today's Thursday. I may break a story Thursday, but I've been working on that story probably since Monday. Trying to get in touch with the right people, trying to get everything. You know what I mean? It's a lot. It's a lot that goes into it.
Because you got to validate what you about to write to as well. You gotta ask certain people. Mm-hmm.
Have you ever?
Sure. So
have you ever been pranked? Like, got a text from someone who's just like, "Hey, this is this person," and it's not actually, and it doesn't follow through.
You know what? Should I admit this?
Yes.
No, you don't have to say.
It's good content. It's good content. Let's hear it.
No, you don't have to say what happened, but you can just say.
I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. It's cool. It's cool now. I'm gonna say it. Somebody a few years ago, they were calling a lot of NBA high-end media, calling a lot of high-end media people, or I would say media. Oh, they were contacting me. I know probably Shaq was contacted, or maybe a Reggie Miller or something. Like, somebody was calling claiming to be Kurt Thomas. Kurt Thomas, and they were asking for like the contacts of Reggie Miller, Kenny Smith, and like it was as like just TNT, Charles Barkley. And they were claiming to be Kurt Thomas. And Kurt Thomas used to, play in the league. And I covered Kurt when I was covering the Portland Trailblazers my first year in the league, covering the league. Kurt was a vet there. And Kurt is he's based in Texas, goes to a lot of Dallas Mavericks games. And so it pops up on my phone as Kurt Thomas. And he's talking to me. This individual is talking to me as like everybody in Portland used to call me C. Hey, what's up, C? What's up, C? And that's the way, like, I got a text. Hey, C, what's up, man? This is Kurt Thomas. Lock me in. Has a Texas phone number. And I'm like, okay, this is Kurt Thomas. Hey, man, you got a number to Kenny Smith? I'm trying to get in touch with him about something. Hey, Kurt, here you go, bro. There you go. so he goes. That was like 1 month. 2 weeks later, hey, C, you got a number to Shaq and Chuck and them? He's asking for like a whole bunch of people. And I'm like, hold on, man. Like, shoot, he got Kenny number already. Like, it shouldn't be this hard. Now I'm just starting like fishing. I'm like, man, this don't sound right. Like, he shouldn't be like he played with some of these guys. He know these guys. Like, why? And so I start asking him, I'm like, hey, bro, like, I said, call me. He didn't call. So I called him. And it went to voicemail. And then he texts me back immediately and says, hey, see, I'm on a plane right now. I land in like 4 hours. So can you really give me this number real quick so I can text him? Well, I need, and at that point, I'm like, this fishy. I'm like, bro, call me when you touch down. And then he ends up sending me a picture of him. He was like, hey, what are you talking about? This is a picture of me like on the plane right now. He had a picture of Kurt Thomas on the plane. And I'm like, Kurt wouldn't do this. Like, seemed corny, man. Kurt wouldn't do this, man. Anyway, I went and talked. I'm not going to bring up this other media member, but another media member in the Dallas area about a month later told me about somebody that's pretending to be Kurt Thomas is calling around trying to get numbers from everybody. And I actually ran into Kurt like months later. And I told him about it. He said, man, I had no clue. He said, I got your number. I had no clue this was going on. Like some dude is doing this. So, yeah, I've been pranked I've been pranked once. But every now and then somebody will get a hold of your number and act like there's somebody. And,
100%.
Yeah.
But that's a funny story, though. But that's a funny story because like this.
Kenny. I'm sorry.
No, that's a funny story because like, I don't think people realize how like everybody kind of knows everybody in the space, and how like let's say they call me like, hey man, I saw Chris Haynes, please can you hit him up? And if I think it's a good opportunity, I'll always double check and text you like, hey Chris, guys asking for your phone number. Is it cool? Yes. And send it to I had to be this way because for stuff like this. Like, hey bro, so if it's a prank, it's a prank. But I asked you first before before anything. But then no. But you know what? You know why you didn't? Because it's a guy he knew. It's a guy he already knew that. Like, if I know, let me give you an example, right? Somebody in your network, like, oh, Tia, you got Chris number just long. I'm like, oh, yeah, you know Chris. Why you? He already know you. He already knows you. So, but yeah, that's funny. That's funny for sure. That's funny for sure.
The way he addressed me, like, hey, C, you got such and such, and that's what they call me in Portland. Hey, C, what's up? You know what I mean? So, hey, it never happened again.
Yeah.
Again, Kenny, I'm sorry, Kenny. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Kenny's cool. Cool.
I'm glad you shared that story. I know we were on the verge of not doing that. It happens. It happens. That's for sure. They showed TA. Did you guys see the video? They showed the quarterback of the Bears, Caleb Williams, got pranked by a random fan. They sent him a text and said like, "Hey, this is I think it was the guy they ended up hiring, but they like a week early. They're like, "Hey, this is Ben Johnson. I'm about to sign to be your new head coach. Looking forward to working with you." And he was like texting back and forth with some random fan pretending to be the future head coach of the Bears.
That's cold, guy.
Wow.
That's cold.
It's tough.
Man. That's brutal.
Sometimes, and then they wonder why players won't pick up the phone and be like, "Hey, it's coach. I called you. You didn't pick up." I was like, "Nah, coach. You gotta FaceTime me or something because." Oh my God! Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Chris. You've been amazing. You think, Chris, for the fans too? You think we could have you maybe a little bit for like 5 minutes the day of, or maybe the day before? Because I think the moves is happening. Moves.
I'll be in Atlanta doing some doing TV for NBA TV. The 5th and the 6th. So yeah, that's the day before the deadline and on the deadline. So, but we'll hit me up and I'll jump on.
My dog. Thank you so much, Chris.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
Chris Haynes, ladies and gentlemen. This guy breaks every news down, breaks the trades. Top special.
Hey, want to thank our sponsors, Gruber Law Offices. I want us to thank Paraguay Casinos and Hotel. Thank you guys so much. Back to the show.